Last time on Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater, Pleek finally defeated the Gug.
You smash his head with a hammer and you shove his face in the water and you say, "Die, you son of a bitch! Die!"
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do that.
And made her way up to the Drow Caverns to be initiated as one of the elite. Os, Morrigan, Cersei, and Vortiga returned to Devites with their egg and their treasure, with Morgan, their gunslinger bard, boasting of their adventuring prowess and song.
Bard it up. Ready? Give him a beat, Pat. Give him a beat.
I don't remember. I'm a terrible bard. You're about to get scarred if you step into our yard.
Yeah, okay. Throughout the land, people know the legend of the three ladies in Osk. And you don't step into their yard, you'll get scarred.
Then they tested a tiny tank before boarding their ship and leaving for Westport. Siobhan helped protect the merfolk clutch by creating a thick, thorny overgrowth around most of the reservoir. Then she took her nephew to La Chambre, the merfolk village, where she raced seahorses and ran into an old friend.
So how's everything? What's your life been like? What's up? What's going on?
Wet as usual, as we say down here.
That's good.
Before deciding to try and swim into the naval base at Catone. And now, Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater continues.
Back on the island of Reyes.
Oh, God.
After the great earthquake when the crystal was stolen, the city was left demolished, like in pieces. Totally destroyed. All the buildings, the walls surrounding the city, the tower had totally just burrowed down into the ground and made a big pit. Everything was destroyed. The island was torn in half at the mountains. It was just the island was totally ruined, and it seemed that there were no survivors. Except at the Temple of Uragathoa, the priestess had been sleeping underground in the chambers underneath the temple where the rat folk used to hide. And there she had also preserved a few corpses of bodies from patrons that had killed themselves in the name of Uragathoa. And since the rest of the bodies above ground had been taken away, there was nothing for her to make any zombies or corpses with, and she was all alone, except for these 5 zombie corpses, which she reanimated. So her and these 5 zombie corpses started to rebuild the city all alone. They were, of course, undead, mindless zombies that she controlled, so they weren't very great for conversation. And the priestess started slowly going insane, but she did rebuild the city to the best of her ability, much smaller, not very well. She's no engineer. So it just looks like a bunch of rocks stacked on each other, but with no ceilings, really, just walls and big openings for doors. But she was able to raise these 5 zombies, and in cleaning up the town, like I said, they couldn't find much else because most of the other body parts for the other dead were removed by the elven army that came. But floating in the harbor, she did find the body of Froderick, with only a few pieces missing. So she took him back to the temple and prayed to Uragathoa and was able to raise him from the dead, although...
Yeah, he wasn't dead, he was just unconscious, actually.
So she was able to bring him back, and he was able to also help rebuild the city. And so now Froderick and the priestess, whose name I forget, do we have one for her?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, Nenya or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Whatever it was. Her. They're the only 2 really conscious beings on the island right now. So they formed a very tight, loving, undead to undead priestess relationship, and have grown very fond of each other and are living together in the temple with their 5 zombie, pretty much children at this point, because they're undead and they're not very intelligent, so they're kind of very dumb. So they're taking care of those undead, contemplating ways to grow the undead population on Reyes in service of Uragathoa. Meanwhile, on the other half of the island that split, Count Druncula had been hiding in the woods for a long time, but soon as appetite got the best of him, he started attacking the few halflings that were left in the small fishing village there. And pretty soon, they all became vampires as well. Still some dwarves hiding out in the mountains, although they fortified themselves in without supplies and probably don't stand a chance to live much longer before they all just die off.
Well, there's a lot of treasure in that mountain, I bet.
Yeah, the dwarves are known to collect gems, and they cleaned out half of that mountain. Of course, you guys don't know this is happening, so you wouldn't know that. But I'm just telling you.
Those vampires and maybe the zombies going to be trying to get all up in that dwarven colony.
It's possible, just for the meat, if they know there's meat in there, so we'll see. Like the vampires know there's something in there, they're going to get it, and if the zombies do, they will also. So that's what's happening on the island of Reyes. Any thoughts? You can do some Frederick stuff if you want. He's there rebuilding and...
Yeah, I couldn't think of much besides trying to rebuild the harbor, so that maybe we could hope that some people might come in and we can start turning them.
All right, I like that. So Frederick sets about to rebuild the harbor. There was a little bit of damage done in the earthquake, and when the ship was in the whirlpool and smashed into the docks. So he repairs those things. Does he maybe even starts trying to build a boat? Maybe do some like maybe do some zombie outreach, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you guys can go with some like missionary work around the world and spread the truth of zombieism.
5 zombies we can send to 5 different continents.
Yeah, and spread the love, spread the zombie disease, right?
Yeah.
All right, I like it. Send some zombie missionaries out. So that's Frederick's and the priestess's plan. They've started Urgathoan Zombie Worship Ministry Center for Urgathoa. They've started an Urgathoan outreach center on the island of Reyes, and that's now all that exists on the island of Reyes is the Urgathoan Outreach Center. Do you send the zombies off with anything? Do they have like pamphlets with them or something? Or I mean, zombies aren't great. I mean, I don't know if you know a lot about zombies, but they have like notoriously low charisma.
Yeah.
They're not very...
just brains.
Yeah. Brains.
Alright, maybe we shouldn't send them out. Maybe we should just keep them in there and just keep rebuilding.
Alright, just keep them in there and keep rebuilding and planning on how you're going to get more zombies. You just have to find more dead bodies, so...
Yep.
If you could find a way to get more dead bodies... And you know those elves stole a bunch of dead bodies from you.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep that in mind. Think about it. Ruminate on it. We'll come back to Reyes later once we have some plans. I was going to Pleek, right? Before I got distracted by Reyes. Yeah. Alright, Pleek. You've defeated a Gug.
Yeah, so...
You drag its body back up the spiraling cavern pit.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm gonna start doing that, but I want to do, like, a perception check to try and find a place, like, a good spot to, like, rest and heal up.
You're not really sure because this deep down in the caves, you don't feel like it's safe to rest without some kind of shelter, and a tent's probably not a good enough shelter. Like, the fact that this Gug was down here means there's probably more down here, and, like, while getting into the elite might only require you to come down here and kill one Gug, you know that if you stay down here for very long, you might get attacked by more.
Okay, well, then I'm just gonna, keep climbing forward.
Alright, I get to roll 3 percentage chances to see if you get attacked on the way up.
Alright.
Oh, that's not good. Neither is that. That one's okay.
Cool.
But it won't be as bad as the thing you just fought, so maybe you'll be fine. Let's find out. Maybe you'll be dead and everyone else will be happy.
No spells. Die on the way up. I'll have the Gug while die on the way up.
The first thing you encounter is a Drider, which are friendly to your type, so it ignores you. But the second thing you encounter on your way back up is something you didn't notice on the way down. It seems like some sort of fungus has overgrown the path. Like between the time you came down and back up, some kind of fungus growth has overgrown the area. And it seems the fact that it's grown that fast seems dangerous to you. It's covered the whole area, like up around the wall, the floor, in a big circle. Floor, ceiling, walls, all the way around.
But is it growing like moss, or is it like filling in the space?
It's pretty thick. It's not completely blocking the hole, but there are like fungi sticking out into the space, and it's grown very quickly. And so you know that there's definitely something dangerous about it.
Let's see if I got anything here.
It seems to have lots of tendrils that slither out.
Fungus.
And a pointed cap, so the cap's like a very pointy cap on the mushroom, very sharp looking. And it has tentacles, so there's like things that are moving about it. It seems like they would strike you if you came by. And the fungus is a bright violet color, which would be easy to notice even without a perception check. If you want to know more about it, you can roll a knowledge nature, or a dungeoneering.
Roll a knowledge nature. It's a 13. 14.
Alright, so you don't know a lot, but you know you've heard of violet fungus before, and you know it's dangerous. That you remember. You know the legends about violet fungus are that it's not safe to touch or be around.
Yeah, sure. Well, I don't have a spell I can do I don't have what? Okay, how straight is the shaft?
Alright, you're asking if you can jump through the shaft?
Well, I was going to have.
They just like that you said shaft.
I was going to make have Harriet go like tightrope through it.
I like this idea. All right, you want to try it?
String. Well,
What else?
I mean, yeah, I want to try it.
I think
if it's plausible.
It's plausible.
I mean, if it's
can,
not plausible, we're both gonna die.
It's plausible. But you have to roll or Harriet has to roll a high enough dex check to stay on her wire to walk past it.
Oh, she's got +6 on the dex.
All right, so as long as you roll a 15 or higher, that'll be fine.
Well, I mean, that's not gonna happen. I can't roll above 5 tonight.
Well, that's not my problem. I'm gonna tell you, if you want to get by without getting attacked, if you can roll a 15 or higher, I'll let you dex walk. First, I'll let you perform is fine. You can do that. She shoots the web to walk across. That's easy. I mean, perform's easy.
Harriet's a baller. She's got mad performance.
But yeah, if you can roll above a 21 dex, I'll let you walk across the wire without alerting the fungus. Or a high stealth.
Oh, look at that. I rolled a natural 1.
You get stung. Well, no, the web doesn't work. Was that for the web?
No, that was to walk across it, so...
Alex.
What's your AC?
Mine?
Yeah.
18.
Oh, you're fine then. It misses. It does strike at you, though. So you get a chance. You can try to run away and give an attack of opportunity, or you can attack back, which I don't know if I'd recommend that right now. Usually I would, but right now I might recommend just trying to run and hoping the attack opportunity sucks.
Just run.
All right, you run?
Sprint.
I rolled a nat 20, guys.
Okay, cool.
Oh, shit. Yeah! What happened?
But it only does 1d4 damage.
Yeah, that's fine.
So maybe I roll a 1.
No, that's fine.
I rolled a 1.
Okay.
I rolled a 1. How many? You have 3, right?
Yeah, so it wouldn't have mattered.
It does 1d1 plus rot, so it does 2 damage. So you're down to 1 hit point.
Plus 1d1 plus what?
Rot.
Rot.
So it does 2 damage, and then it also you have to make a fortitude save right now to not rot. So roll me a fortitude save, and good luck, my friend. And pick a good d20. There's so many in there to choose from, I know.
14 plus 9. 23.
That's a good enough fortitude save that your flesh does not rot. You are able to escape the fungus and make it the rest of the way.
I don't know how fast Harriet runs.
She runs plenty faster.
But
Yeah.
Normal, it's 150.
The fungus attacks the gug some, but it's dead, so it doesn't matter. You drag that gug through the fungus, and you keep fucking moving. With your 1 hit point, you make it to the top of the spiral, near dead, bleeding, your hair's all fucked up, your makeup's ruined. Your shoes, your pumps are all fucked. I don't know, you're a female gnome. I don't know what you're wearing. But I know your outfit's ruined, whatever you're wearing. So you look like shit, but you finally make it to the top of the spiral with only 1 hit point remaining.
I don't happen to see
Gasping.
on the way out, do I?
Who? The other spider? Roll me a percentage chance, and that'll determine whether or not you're able to catch up to him or not.
I'm gonna go. The perp is the 10th place. So we're clear. 76.
All right, so now roll me a handle animal to try to calm him down and reach, re-get him on your side again.
Man. Oh, now I roll an 18.
Plus your handle animals, that's gonna be plenty.
Yeah,
of your
that's
animal.
12.
Yeah, so it's like 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, the spider calms down and follows you again. So you come out of the top of the staircase, where all the drow are eagerly waiting your return, with an extra spider and the body of a grug dragging behind you, although looking very haggard. And they all start a slow clap and go, ugly duck, ugly duck, ugly duck, ugly duck, ugly duck, ugly duck. And soon they're all cheering for you and holding you and Harriet over their heads. And you have now become a member of the... And that's where we'll leave you, and I'll go back to these motherfuckers. Where were you guys at on your boat? Back to Westport?
Just boarded the boat. Yep, we're about to depart, I believe.
Alright, so you guys are about to depart. You get on the boat. The captain says, oh my gosh, hold on a second. And gets off the boat before you leave, and runs back into the city.
Just the captain?
Just the captain.
Can someone follow him?
He comes back very quickly by the time you guys have finished talking about him. He returns and says, oh, I'm sorry, I almost forgot something.
Yeah, what was that?
He says, oh, it's personal.
I'm going to roll diplomacy to see if he'll tell a sweet, slutty swamp witch. That's going to be a 29.
He said, well, to tell you the truth, I had to leave a message here about you guys.
What about us?
He says, I'm not sure, but I'm under orders, to keep track of you guys, and I had to update them when we left. That was my orders.
We're members of the Westport military. There's no reason for you to keep tabs on us.
He says, it's the military that told me to keep tabs on you.
I'm going to roll Intimidate. And
Since he's our commanding officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rank 2 here in Westport military. I'm going to roll Intimidate and tell me what note you left. Oh, 20.
He says, I didn't read it. I was just told to drop it off before we left.
It's not read it, you left it.
He doesn't know what the note says. It was sealed.
Someone gave him the note? He didn't write the note?
He did not write the note. He was just instructed to drop it off before we left.
Where did you drop it off?
He said, I was told to leave it with whoever was at the front of the dojo.
Well, this boat's about to leave, so...
He'll stay as long as you tell him to stay. 20?
I don't think so. Yeah, he'd wait on us, but I don't know why we're staying. I'm going to roll diplomacy to see if you'll hold on for a moment. We need to step back into town.
Sure.
Alright. Oh, yeah, that's going to be hot. That's going to be a 31.
Alright, just barely works. But he says, I guess so. We really should be heading back, though. We've been gone a long time. You guys don't want to miss your declaration day, or you're going to have to be in the military for 6 more months.
I'm going to tell them it's okay. We saved a lot of time by helping them figure out how to work the tank. And we'll be, that cut out a lot of time, so we'll be right back.
He says, just make sure you hurry.
All right. Let's go to the dojo.
Yeah.
All right. To the dojo.
We go to the dojo.
Alright, you guys head to the dojo. Alright, you guys reach the front of the dojo. There's about 4 really tough-looking samurai standing outside with their hands crossed in front of their junk. Kobolds. That seem surrounded by a couple of rock gardens. But the door is closed, and they seem like they probably won't let you pass.
I will walk up in Draconic and say, let us pass. We must speak with, I don't know, the concierge.
Yeah.
They say, we have no one of that title here. He says, to enter the dojo, you must join the dojo.
What is the dojo?
What does that entail?
He says, you must take the tattoo of the red dragon, and you must take the blood oath of the red dragon, and study as a samurai.
Yeah, we don't really... Did someone leave a note here? I think it was for me.
He says, I assure you no one left a note for you, sir.
But you don't even know who I am.
He says, I know you do not live at the dojo.
I mean, I just got to have a bad hair day. You've never seen me before. How do you know?
He says, you are no kobold, you have no tattoo, you have not been in dojo.
You're a very shrewd observer. I should hire you to help me out.
He says, samurai only serves one master.
I've got a pretty big dick, though.
Who's the master?
I mean, I might be able to help you out.
Says,
man.
we serve the castle of Cranagris, and Cranagris only.
Oh.
As do all the towns on West Linya.
Can I do sense motive? Or actually, can I detect evil first off in them? So I'm going to cast detect evil. Are they evil?
You detect some evil, but not a lot. You also detect some good and some chaotic. I mean, they all seem individuals. So you detect a little bit of everything.
Does anyone look like they're in the Cranagus Mafia, maybe?
Everyone here appears to be a samurai of the Order of the Red Dragon that belongs to Devates. Like, everyone that lives here appears to be a Kolgold samurai, for the most part, that belong to the samurai army here. There's not a whole lot else going on here. They've got a market at the dock, and a dojo, that's the temple adjacent to the dojo, with like a kendo arena where you can fight with iron weapons, but they don't seem to have much else in this town, so it's just people that, you either serve the samurai or you leave.
Well, I would love to become a samurai swamp witch, but I think we should maybe be on our way.
I guess.
That's fine.
Yeah, we can head back.
Hop on the boat.
Alright, Hop on the boat.
After a week, can I get my starvation experience?
Well, people come looking for the treasure, but they can't find the cavern they've heard of, where there's lots of gold, as legend says. So they just give up and turn back and just die in the valleys and don't get eaten. And she gets really hungry and starts eating her own snakes.
Oh, alright, so she's good for a little while.
Well, at least another week. Until she runs out of snakes.
Alright, so can we just take the 20 till the 6 weeks when the thing hatches?
I mean, you're going to be on the boat that long anyway, so it'll hatch on the boat.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is like, can we just, like, sail until that point?
Yeah, you sail until that point. And after a while, the Vouvra hatches, and the top half is a nude baby girl, and the other front is the front end of a slithering winged dragon. So it's very tiny.
I'm there for the hatching of it. And
yeah, so it imprints on you and stuff?
Yeah, I'm the first face that it sees, and I'll speak to it and, soothing words and draconic and whatnot. And I guess for the next couple of weeks, I will feed it my own Samsaran blood, which has healing properties.
Okay, so, help it grow and stuff?
Yeah, kind of like it's my only way to nurse it, essentially. So I'll take a D4 damage every day, but hopefully I should be able to recover that.
Yeah, cool.
If you want me to roll it, I will.
No, I'm down. You're on a boat, so I'm assuming you can do everything to the best of your ability at this point because you have time to kill.
Until it gets too big.
Which is going to take 7 years for it to fully grow.
Feed me, Seymour!
Yeah. Because you guys have a couple months in the ocean, it gets a little bit bigger. As it starts to be able to move around and stuff, you notice when it moves, its scales make a chord, like a note, like a sound of a song. And it starts to coo along with the sound of its scales.
Can I name him?
It's a her, but yeah.
Her?
Yeah.
I'm going to call her Cooter.
All right. That could be her name.
What race is this?
Vouvra. You do know that it does need water a lot, though, so you're going to need to make it some kind of tank or give it some kind of access to water a lot. Because while it can be on land, it likes water a whole lot, and doesn't seem to be comfortable outside of the water as much as it is in the water. It gets dry skinned, it gets very irritable outside of the water. So if you don't put it in the water, you're going to put some ladles. You're going to ladle it down once a day or something and keep it wet.
I feel like I have a spell called Create Water.
I've got a spell called Create Water, where it's 2 gallons of water.
So as long as you guys do that every now and then.
I've got a cauldron. I'll just keep it in my cauldron.
Oh yeah, keep it in your cauldron. It's even better. So then it has a place to swim around, learn to swim. Because its bottom half of the body likes to swim. Its top half likes to be above water, but the bottom half really likes to be below water. You still have to pass the East London military again.
Okay, yeah, alright.
Can I try to cast the Mystic?
Hey, Pat, will you help steer the boat?
Yeah, can I help steer the boat again?
Alright.
Help the kid. You both put your hands on it. He goes this way, and you're like, no, I want to go this way.
No, I mean because we've sailed through this before, to help sail through the.
Okay, cast obscuring mist.
I'm going to plug 2 mythic points into the obscuring mist.
Double mythic experience. Mist?
So yeah, double mythic obscuring mist, which is a 500-foot tall, 500-foot wide cloud of obscuring mist.
Alright, as you guys approach the very large ships of the East Linya Navy, much larger than yours, which is still a pretty large ship, you cast this fog spell to disguise your ship so they don't see you. I'll roll a perception. Nat 20. This time they're looking for you, because this suspicious thing happened last time. And now you hear the sound of cannons firing in your direction. So all I need is since they're firing blindly into fog, I'm just going to roll percentage chances. I'm going to roll 7 of them, though. First one's a hit. Second one's a hit. Third one's a hit. Fourth one's a hit. Fifth one's not a hit. Sixth one's a hit. You got 5 hits.
I can cast 4 mendings.
I'll cast mending.
So luckily it doesn't do too much damage. Your mending is able to negate most of it, because I rolled pretty low for most of that. So your constant mending was able to negate most of the damage that was done. They can't see you, but they've seemed to pinpoint that you're in the middle of the fog, because the fog does seem to follow your ship around, and after last time you passed through here, they seem to figure out your trick, and they know you guys are at the center of the fog.
There's 7 ships, I believe, right?
How many ships are there, Brian?
There are at least 7. You don't know because you can't see out of the fog, just like they can't see in. But there at least 7 things fired at you.
Well,
So yeah,
I've got the zoom specs. I'm gonna try to look at them and see what I can see.
that's still less than 500 feet. So you're gonna have trouble seeing even with the specs.
All right, but they're able to shoot us from that range. I guess they're huge ships.
Yeah, and they're like I said, and they're just pinpointing the center of the fog, and a lot of them missed. They're just like aiming for the center of the fog, and your ship's pretty big, so it's like just like playing Battleship. All they had to do was like hit one of 5 squares. You know what I mean? It was like that kind of a thing. They're like, we know the ship's somewhere in this area. Aim in that area. So.
Okay. Our ship have any cannon?
Well, can we all just...
No, your ship is designed to look like a merchant ship because you guys were supposed to be like undercover.
Can we
Can we all pitch in to like help tighten the sails, batten the hatches, and move fast and try to outrun them? So
You know, try and speed it up and get through here?
More ships, we're lighter. So we
Let Pat, since he's a sailor, let Pat roll a sail trick to try and like get you guys to help out, and we'll let Pat like boss you guys around and give you instructions if he rolls a really good sail trick.
And he's our commanding officer.
Yep, so you're gonna follow his instructions, obviously.
You're a bar.
He's ranked 2.
18.
Alright, so that's enough. So you start barking orders to these guys, you're like, pull this rope, tie that thing there. They listen to you. You gain a little bit of speed. They fire at you 3 more times. And 2 of them are hits.
I've already used all 4 of my mendings. You've used 3. Is anyone else on mending?
And these 2 hits were did a lot more damage because they were a lot more closer to their ships now. That's when you were actually passing through. So they actually could maybe see you right when you were trying to pass through. So they did a lot more damage to your ship.
Can I see them?
Yeah, at this point, if you roll a line of perception, you can.
That was a low perception. That was like a 8. But can I try again?
No. That's not how perception works.
Brian, I have 2 mendings to cast.
Okay, cast them. That'll help.
Yeah, I'll cast both my last 2 mendings.
Okay. The mending repaired some of the damage.
Okay, I'm gonna pray to Urgathoa and pray for her guidance as I unleash a can of whoop-ass. Death and destruction in the name of Urgathoa.
Alright, roll me a percentage chance for Wheeler Woe.
For Wheeler Woe?
Yep.
Okay. That's, it's a 0 10, so that's 90.
Alright, she says, outlook looks positive.
Sweet, okay. So I'm going to,
Outlook looks positive.
I'm going to tell everybody on the ship that I'm going to go cause a distraction. I'm going to meet up with you guys, hopefully later. If you don't see me soon, be worried.
Call the president.
Call the president. All right, and then so I'm going to go into the shadow plane.
Uh-huh.
And then in the shadow plane, I'm going to move over to one of their ships.
Okay, so here's the problem with that. In the shadow plane, their ships don't exist.
Why not? I mean, I can see everything as shadows, right?
You can see all the natural phenomenon as shadows. There are some things that only exist in the material world. The reason that Northport was so realistic in the shadow plane is because they are a much darker place that's covered by a lot of shadows, so things are more real in the shadow plane there. Everywhere else in the world, the shadow plane is not an exact match of the world. It's just like a close proximity. And here is very similar. Like the water, the shadow water is there. There's definitely a shadow fluid underneath you, but the ships are not there in the shadow plane. They're not copies of the ships or copies of the people or just copies of the natural elements.
Well, can I know from how close they were previous, how far I have to go in order to get close enough?
You could guess, but you would also have to find a way, like once you were in the shadow plane, you would also no longer be on a boat. So you have to find a way to maneuver yourself through the water that distance, which would be hard swimming, versus being on a boat.
How close are all these ships to each other?
They're about 300 feet apart when you're passing through the middle of them. At least the 2 closest ones that shot at you were about that far away from you. 300 to 500 feet.
We're like halfway through already.
Yep, you just have to finish passing through.
Yeah, we're going to keep going, but I want to throw something at them first. I'm going to try to send a lightning bolt at the main part of the ship.
All right, meanwhile, Tom, you are now swimming in a shadow ocean.
All right, I'm going to keep swimming in the direction I thought that I was supposed to be going in.
Okay.
I want to pray to Urgathoa to see when I'm getting close enough. If she can give me some guidance. So I rolled a 16, and I don't know if that's diplomacy or knowledge or religion.
Probably diplomacy.
that's going to be a 28.
Here in the Shadow Plane, you do not get a response from Urgathoa, but you do get a response from Chaya.
Chaya, yeah.
And she says, "Fuck you. How dare you come into my house and ask for another god?" She says, "I hope you drown."
That's not a very nice thing to do. For all the stuff that I've done to try to help your religion,
What have you done for me?
I've sacrificed myself trying to go across the drown. I'm going back to fight them right now.
That rhymes.
That did rhyme.
Right now!
She says, "Well, let me know when you succeed at something."
Alright, thanks. Appreciate it. For nothing.
Real uplifting.
Yeah.
Shadow gods, I don't know. They're not the nicest. They're shadow gods.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Alright, well, then I've got a decent swim check, so I'm going to keep swimming for a little bit, and then I'm going to go out of Shadow Plane and hope that I'm close to a boat.
All right. Roll me a swim check.
Alright. That is going to be a 13.
All right, so it's not great. You don't seem to make much progress. You're treading water, but you're not moving very far.
Alright.
Would you still like to go back to the material plane?
No, let me keep going.
All right, you can roll another swim check.
Alright.
But at this point, you're fighting the current, so it's taking you longer.
That was a worse one, so that's a 7.
All right, so now it seems like the waves are getting bigger and pushing you away from the place you're trying to swim. And it even seems like the water's getting thicker.
Water's getting thicker?
Yeah.
Like blood.
Like ink or blood, yeah, it's getting thicker, soupier. It's not like water anymore. It's getting viscous, yeah.
Alright, I'm going to try one more time. Alright, that's a 14.
Suddenly the waves rise up from both sides around you and try to swallow you.
But that was better than before.
That's not because you're swimming bad.
Oh, it's not? All right.
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to go out of the Shadow Plane then if Chaya's being a bitch.
Shy is being a bitch. Alright, you return to the material plane,
Yeah.
and now your boat is not too far away, only about 20 feet away from where you left them.
Okay, am I close enough to the other ships, or am I still really far away?
I mean, your ship is in between the two other ships. So you're about 20 feet away from the ship you started from, and it's in between about 300... It's 300 feet away from two other ships on each side. About 300 to 500, somewhere in that range. You'd have to guess.
Alright, well, this plan is not working out very well for me. I'm going to pull out my gem of brightness.
Okay.
And nim and turn it on and to get everyone's attention.
Alright. You shine it, like, at your ship?
No, I shine it towards the other ships.
Alright. They see that, of course. That's pretty hard to miss.
Yeah.
Super bright. But that just gives them a target to shoot at.
That's fine.
Okay.
Alright, but I cast a lightning bolt, mythic style, at the closest ship.
Alright. They get a reflex save, I assume?
Yeah, it was a will save.
Will save?
Like no, I think it was reflex, actually.
I'm pretty sure it is for lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Look at a 19. What's your,
18.
Oh, yeah, so they take half. Yep.
Alright.
The ship would in there.
How many am I hitting? Because are they like in a line?
Well, they're opposite sides of you, so you can only face one direction and shoot it, so you couldn't shoot them both.
Alright, I'll shoot one. I'll roll my 8s. 7, 14, 21. Oh, nice, dude. 29, so half of that, 14 damage.
Alright, yeah. That's pretty good. Even part of that ship even starts to look like it's caught on fire from the lightning bolt, so... Did some damage. They're gonna fire at you guys, though. First one misses. Second one just barely hits, but only does a little bit of damage. It knocks off part of the top of your sail. Minimum damage.
How much further before we're out of range of our mist?
2 more percentage rolls.
The mist follows us.
Well, the mist follows you, but until you're past the ships, you have 2 more percentage rolls, so you're far enough away.
Let's just keep powering through this, man.
All right. Miss. One more hit. This one does a little more damage. This one causes a hole in the side of your ship. You start taking on a little bit of water.
Anyone have anything they can do to help? You got crafts, anything?
How big of a hole?
Cannon's about the size of a human head, or cannonball.
Alright, well, I'm going to grab my cooter and my pot and
Alright, you use your pot of cooter to plug the hole.
Yeah, I was about to say, can I use that like sailing check to try and jam something in the hole?
Yeah, you've repaired stuff like this before. You can try to help with that.
Yeah, in the meantime, I'll be plugging it with.
He'll plug it until you can find. So he'll plug the hole until you can find something more permanent. And I'll let you take a 20 look around the ship so you find the supplies to fix it. And you guys will have escaped the East Linya Neva once again.
Alright, I guess I'm going to turn off my thing. Now I'm just fucking in the water.
Yeah.
No,
But they left you behind. You're in the water and they're way ahead of you now.
Shit. I forgot about that.
Alright, I'm going to turn off the light. What time of day is it?
It's close to evening now. It's dark out. It's about 7 p.m.
Alright, am I closer to the enemy ships or to our ship?
You're still closer to your ship. You're only about 100 yards away from your own ship.
But they're going in the opposite direction, right?
Yeah,
Can
they're
I
sailing
roll a
east.
perception check to see if I see him?
Yeah, of course.
I can cast a dimensional door and he can hop through it onto the boat. I got a 15 on perception. 15 and 16 on perception.
Either you guys have dark vision?
I have low light vision at least. I have low light.
That'll help a little bit. Alright, I'll say you can see him. Just barely you can make something out that looks like us flailing in the water with a centipede tail. You don't know a whole lot of other creatures to be flailing in the water with a centipede tail, so...
Alright, well, can I ask, I'm going to ask Morgan to tell me which way the tide's flowing. Use your sailing prowess to let me know which way the tide's flowing.
Alright. Well, we're still sailing ahead. 21, sail check.
The tide's flowing north.
Alright, well
Towards
then
Reyes.
I'm going to put use one of my level 4 spells, do a dimensional door slightly to the north of Osk, and have the other end come out right in front of me on the deck of the boat. I don't know why I'm rolling. That happens.
Yeah. I'm sure Oz is willing. As long as Oz is willing to go through a dimensional door, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I'm willing.
Alright.
But then a lot of water, too.
You get sucked up in a dimensional door, and then sploosh, you and about 3 gallons of water comes crashing down on the front of the ship.
Yeah. But well, tried.
Yeah.
You've been rescued.
Thank you. Yeah.
Alright, then you guys head around the northeast side of Linya, past Galbraith, or to the island of Demon's Knot, to the town of Westport. And you arrive early in the morning, 4 or 5 a.m. And when you arrive, you find that there are several soldiers, gear-forged, elven or drow soldiers, you can't tell, waiting for you.
Alright,
There are 10 of them waiting for you when you get off the ship.
Alright.
well,
Walk up first.
Sense motive, how about that?
Yeah, he's already got sense motive, for sure. What's the wisdom?
Sense motive.
Wisdom. I got nothing on that.
I got a 19 on sense motive.
I got a 20 on sense motive.
Alright, Morgan, they look at you and say, "Reporting for duty, sir." "Ma'am, we're sorry, ma'am."
I'm saying it's about time. I've been waiting on you, fellas.
They salute. And then stand at ease, awaiting orders.
Can I do some sort of knowledge check to... Did I ever get, like... Is this a, rank promotion? Like, why are there 4 soldiers? Or 10 soldiers? 10 trying to follow us.
Yeah, you can... we'll just roll, just ask one of them, I would say. Just
Yeah, thanks.
diplomacy and
but,
charisma.
Who assigned you to me?
Alright, they say, Juan Malvo recruited us and said, we were to report directly to you for an urgent mission. And he hands you a note from the general at Westport.
Gotcha.
General who?
Can I, put it
It
in
just
my
says the
pocket?
general.
Non-discreetly put it in my pocket?
Yep.
Alright.
You very non-discreetly and obviously, so everyone can see, put it in your pocket.
One night.
Should be writing this down.
Alright. So, we're gonna go to my house, since I've got a house, right? Here.
Everyone that joined the military has a military house. It's not very big, not very great, but it's a place that's your own. You have a key for it.
House, since I'm more senior than them, like a private room.
I mean, your house is private. It's just not very big. I mean, all of you can fit inside of it, but not very. You mean you're not gonna be? You can't all sleep in one house, but you can all go hang out in one house. Fine.
So this has been our probably 6 months of service.
Unfortunately, you guys were gone more than 6 months, so your time to drop out of your contract lapsed. So it auto renewed. So you guys are in for another 6 months, unfortunately. So right now you have 4 months because you were gone 8. So you have 4 months left of being in the military.
Wasn't there a signing bonus?
There is a signing bonus if you get recruits, but you didn't get these recruits. Juan did.
Yeah.
So Juan got the bonus for getting them.
All right, that's right. You're right.
But he sent them to you to report for a mission.
Do we get an extra soul shard since we sign on for another round?
No, they only get 2 soul shards total for joining the military. That's just right when you sign up. No other soul shards are given out after that.
All right. Well.
So wait, let's talk about this recruitment bonus. Does that count for?
If you recruit other people, you get a bonus. Yes.
But you didn't recruit those 10, though.
Yeah, they were recruited by Juan. He just gave them to you.
Gotcha. All right, so can we go to my house?
Yeah.
I'm gonna open the note and read it.
Your 10 soldiers will wait for you at the barracks awaiting orders. So they'll wait at the barracks. They report to you.
Go to his house.
Yeah, you go to his house, but the soldiers go away to the barracks, I assume, because you don't want them to follow you. I didn't think.
All right. So you
Can I leave Alfred to watch over the soldiers?
Yeah, he'll go back to the barracks with them if that's what you tell him to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
All right, Alfred follows the soldiers back to the barracks.
I'm gonna say that I want to go rob the soul shard place. I would love to have a lot of extra lives.
Well, let's read this note and see what the general.
Oh, now you want to tell us about the general?
Well, that's
See,
why
I had to talk about something.
this general selling. Why we didn't want to talk about it in the open? That's why I wanted to go to.
All right. Well, then come on, talk about it.
All right, you open the note from the general.
Yeah.
Note from the general.
Poison gas comes out.
Yeah.
Correct.
This note will detonate in 10 seconds. You open the note from the general. It says, congratulations on completing your first mission. I've heard a lot about your exploits. I have a few questions that, for you, Morgan. We've been keeping tabs on your group since before you reached Demon's Knot. And we have reason to believe one of you may have access to a great crystal that we are looking for. We've given you 10 troops to go recover it.
What? Hang on. All right. Let's talk about this great crystal for a second. The only person that I told about it was the fucking dragon witch, and I closed that cave, and she already got her starvation experience.
But they've been following you for a while. So they don't know because of that, they know because of other reasons.
Damn.
And maybe you were being followed then, too, because remember his eyeball thing was open, so.
I take intrigue into this great crystal.
Yeah, you can ask them questions. You can be like, great crystal, because they don't know that you've had involved. You'd be like, what's this great crystal that this note is talking about?
Crystal business. I've never heard of. Well, is it just me and the general?
You're reading a note. Yeah, it's a note.
You're reading a note. I mean, you just broke it out for everyone to see, so now everyone knows what it says, I think, because you read it out loud in the room, I assumed, because everyone asked about it. You said, I have this note.
You're right. All right. Well, I just say out loud. Hey, crystal sounds cool. Yeah. Hey, buddy. That sounds neat. What's with these crystals I'm hearing about? Well, Will wouldn't have to say anything because Will knows that none of us do. He doesn't have. Why is this general coming after you for this crystal that I don't know about?
That's not a question you can ask either. But for some reason, the general thinks you have knowledge about a crystal. Doesn't say which one, doesn't say where. I mean, for all you know, you can mean the one at Reyes. You guys haven't been to Reyes in a while. You might think he means that one. Like, of course, Morgan, you were never at Reyes, were you?
I've never encountered a crystal,
so as long as he's following you, the only crystal you've encountered has been what? Did Cersei tell you about the one she found on
No.
Norland?
No.
Then you don't know what they're talking about. You're going to have to fish that out on your own.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Like, what is this crystal this general's talking about?
I know about 2 crystals. Osk knows about 1. But
Whether or not you give information is up to you.
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah.
So, Morgan, you can roll an intimidation or a charisma or diplomacy check to try to get one of them to talk.
Is this the general in Westport or
Westport.
Is this the person that is in the palace?
Be like, all right, well.
Yeah, it's in the Great Hall. It's the thing that's like a palace. It's like a castle there. Yeah, where you dropped off the crystal.
Okay, but I feel like cool.
You would know who the general is, Vortiga, by the way.
Yeah, but I'm not saying.
You're the only person here that's met the general. Very few people have.
I'm gonna diplomacy. I'm just gonna let them talk about it.
Yeah. That's what you would do. What do you do?
I'm gonna diplomacy Cersei and ask that she tell me more about these crystals, or a crystal that this general's talking about. Maybe she's heard something about them. And that's going to be a 25. Alright, I'll take that bet. Let's see here.
You can roll a versus charisma. Charisma versus charisma if you want.
I'm rolling.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, please do. I love that kind of. I love dice versus dice rolls.
But he doesn't have to say anything necessarily because when I roll
22, and I'm gonna search.
it never works.
Yeah, that's true.
25.
And I had some heavy diplomacy rolls.
True.
I had like a 30 diplomacy roll, and
He still said no.
On the intimidate or the diplomacy versus whatever.
Yeah, so you guys, you beat his, or you tied or something?
Tied.
Oh yeah, so you're locked at will. It's like you're doing that thing. You're like both staring at each other. Where Morgan's like, "Tell me what you know," and you're like, "I don't know anything." But Morgan knows you know something, but you're like, "I can't tell you anything."
We can find more crystals. You saw a crystal. I never said I'm up there. I just want to know more. I don't know what crystals are. I don't know what crystals are.
What is going to hold
You know something. I don't know about it. I know. That's why I'm asking you about this.
You can roll a diplomacy with everybody and ask everyone, "What the fuck's he talking about? Who knows about crystals?"
I am. What the fuck is crystals? Like,
Can we get tiny hamburgers?
Tiny burgers.
Yeah.
What is crystals and why does everybody want crystals?
Why do they put onions on them?
Who does number 2 work for? You tell that son of a bitch.
Alright, but we still have 10 soldiers at our disposal. Well, I have 10 soldiers at my...
Correction.
Well, hey, we made it through 6 months. Do we get like little promotions or something like that?
Not until after your first actual battle.
What, dude? We delivered stuff.
That was a delivery mission. You don't get any pay or rank bonus until after a battle. You were just on a mission to prove your loyalty. That first mission's like a test mission, then if you return and don't make it back in time, they re-enlist you anyway. And so then you're stuck and they put you on a real mission, which is what you're doing now. Which is the mission to go take a crystal from somebody. Whoever. They don't care as long as you come back with a crystal, basically. Basically, the note says, come back with a crystal. That's your mission, Morgan. Come back with a crystal.
No problem, man. We're all like, yeah, let's go get a crystal. You don't have to be like, well, I mean, I understand the note says. Well, what the fuck? Why do we need to get a crystal?
Because the note from the general tells you to do it.
The note says to.
That's your mission.
Well, unfortunately, the note did say someone knows about the crystal.
It did say that. But people can lie about it or take you somewhere else, or you know, there are other ways around it. But what are you rolling there, Pat?
I will roll diplomacy with Morgan and say, being from a military family background, because my father was a low-ranking commander in the West Lindian whatever force for Cranagus.
It's true.
And I would say, you know, when a general says something, that usually means you should fucking do it.
I'll gladly give forth the information that there is
Patrick's not in the military, right?
some sort of source of power at Jim Darling's house.
All right. So you suggest maybe there's a crystal at Jim Darling's, and that's where you should head.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying that's where I believe there is a crystal.
Yeah,
or a part of a crystal.
We heard about splitting of the crystal.
Yeah.
So you have that information there, Morgan, to decide what you want to do with. You're the commander, so.
And the note said that someone knew about a crystal. I told you about a crystal.
Morgan was with us in Darling Metropolis and heard about that shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So Morgan knows about that. So once you say that, Morgan will be like, oh, yeah.
Well, what about this, that's the only part of the site I haven't even checked out yet.
Alright, well, we got 10 followers that we can take with us to Ancient's Nest.
Well, let's at least go to Southport and ask around about Angel's Nest, see what we're running into before we get
Alright, do we want to head that way? We're heading to Southport.
Yeah, we'll head to Southport.
All right, you guys arrive at Westport. You take your 10 soldiers out of. They're in the barracks. You leave them in the barracks, and just you guys.
We want to take Alfred and the boys.
Yeah, let's take Alfred and the boys.
We're going to take Alfred and the boys.
You take Alfred and the boys and roll. What's that? 15 deep.
Yeah.
All right, you guys roll 15 deep down the road towards Southport.
I cast.
Of course, there's no road, so I lied. You head down the plains towards Southport.
Horses for Will oriented myself since.
All right, you lead the troops on horses. You guys ride in front of them all proud on horses. I like that. So you look like real...
Centipede style.
Yeah, centipede dude's like got a horse body anyway, except it's a centipede body. Osk, it becomes very bright as you near Southport. It makes you lightheaded and needs you roll a fortitude save.
Alright. 14.
Alright, Osk passes out.
Weak sauce.
Can I hop on my horse and just throw Oscar's, or have the horse?
Can I do a hill check? Can I do a hill check on him?
Yeah.
I'm gonna help too. That's a 16.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a heal kit?
No. I do have potions.
Alright, I'll say you're able to shake him awake, but only because, one, you're leading over him, you're blocking the sun, and as soon as you back away, he passes out again. So you guys know he needs shade very badly, and the closer you get to Southport, you guys have been there before, you know it gets really bright there. Osk will not be able to tolerate being there.
Take off my cloak. We're gonna spread it like 2 horses and give him like a canopy to walk underneath. Like,
Alright, you make a big umbrella for Osk.
Yeah, between 2 horses. Yes.
Alright. Alright, you lead Osk under a big umbrella, followed by 10 troops headed towards Southport. I know we have 15 more minutes, but I kind of want to leave it with you guys, like, just walking down the street with an umbrella over Osk with a bunch of troops following you, like stormtroopers and shit.
Whose idea was it to give those guys an army? Well, let's see what happens next time on Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater.